guest. It's the only person below White Holiday in the ComicsGate phone book. It's my favorite clone of Peter Sammetti. The YouTube guys. How you doing, Conrad? Welcome to the show.
Hello. Welcome to WyzGyz Entertainment. This is your host, Wyman. We are joined today by a very special guest, Doc Hog. How's it going, man?
It's going all right. How are you doing?
Not too shabby.
I love that intro. Back. That still cracks me up. Failed Peter Sammetti clone.
Yeah, I love CGUK. They're a great bunch of folks.
Mm-hmm.
So how has
cheerio.
What's that?
Pip, cheerio.
So how has the whole comic book creation and campaigning and all that good stuff been for you?
Well, sorry to say, I haven't had a backer in a while on Tilt 2, even though I've been in demand. Some of that's my own fault. I think I got a little overworked toward the end of the year, and I needed to cut back on some stuff for a little while, particularly streaming on my channel. I'm working on getting back into that. That said, the comic book is almost all colored now. I had there was it actually was, I thought, all colored, but there was one mistake on a page that I needed to go back and have my original artist, Marcos Lima, add a little something, and now it's back to Lenore for coloring. But everything else has been colored. I got my letterer working on all but that, that one page. Hopefully by this weekend, early next week, he'll be finished. And, I'm hoping within, I'd really like to be able to send it to the printer next week. Whether that's going to happen, I don't know, but that's kind of the goal, and maybe begin to ship out Tilt 2 at the end of March. So it should be on its way, in the not too distant future.
Oh wow, that seems like it's pretty. Speeding along pretty well. Is that
I mean,
schedule?
Yeah, well,
are you ahead of schedule?
No, not ahead of my schedule. I'll say this, the turnaround on certainly Tilt 2 has not been as good as it was on Tilt 1, but we had a few hiccups here and there that just didn't happen during Tilt 1, but they're gonna happen. And certainly with the pace that a lot of other projects get out and get finished, I'm still I think it's fair to say I'm still well ahead of the curve on this. But that said, it's not, I like to, like last time I had things ready to go to the book ready to go to the printer just about the week after I went, the campaign finished, and, I went in demand. So yeah, no, that was a very quick turnaround. This one's taking longer, and, I'm okay with that, but it's, it's to me, it's a little disappointing because I tend to be kind of hard on myself, and I just, I'd like to get things continually turned around, as quickly as I can. I'll say this, when it comes to Tilt issue 3, though, there's going to be some delay in terms of that campaign, because my campaign for Part 2 was a lot tougher and a lot more worrisome in terms of meeting my goal than Tilt Part 1 was. And there are two reasons. I think the second's more important than the first. First was I set a higher goal of $4,000. First one, I only had one of $3,000. And the first one, I was at my goal a week after, a week before, back might have been like 10 days before the campaign was finished. But the second time, I came in just like 5 hours before the campaign was finished. I hit the $2,000 mark, or my $4,000 mark. So that was one. I think it was just going for a higher goal. I think the second is that, I launched my first campaign in March before what are we calling it so we don't get kicked off of YouTube here?
You call it anything you like.
The pandemic induced by the virus of unknown origin. That had not, I think, really hit the economy with full force back in March and April, as it when I launched in October. I think there's a lot more people out there whose disposable income, let alone that their income, let alone their disposable income, was if not wiped out, took a very, very serious hit. And I think that's kind of what made it harder the second time around. So campaign for Tilt 3, I am going to wait on that one a little while. Probably I'm thinking summer now. I'm working on the script, and but I just think it's worth it to wait until the economy is really started to rebound some, which I expect will. I think we'll see some more rebound this quarter, maybe better into the second quarter of 2021. But at any rate, what it means again is just that Tilt 3 will be, the time between Tilt 2 and Tilt 3 is going to be longer than it was between Tilt 1 and Tilt 2, I think.
Do I understand correctly that part of why you weren't able to do as much promotion and campaigning for Tilt 2 is because you got an added workload to your regular job? You got more hours or something? Or
no, it's just that. Well, I've mentioned this on my own channel. I suffer from depression and anxiety, and I had a bad bout with it starting in November, and I'm still kind of working through it. But that just, there was like 5-6 days in there where it was just all I could do was my day job, and I was so mentally could not push myself to do it. And then I got back into it and pushed it to the finish line. Although as I was getting close to the finish line and I didn't think I'd make it, I was kind of just telling myself, I'll relaunch this in the spring. That's okay. Everybody, loads of people have campaigns that don't fail. So if I have one, it's a failure. Failure's fine, I think, as long as you try to learn from it. What did you do wrong? If maybe I didn't do anything wrong in the campaign, maybe it was just when I launched it, whatever. But there were, I probably learned in some ways a little more from the second one than I did from the first, because it was a little harder. The first went off a bit easier than I'd expected, and so at any rate. But yeah, that's kind of what slowed it down, and that's okay. I've struggled with this stuff all my adult life, and this has been a particularly longer bout than I've had in many, many years. But it's just going to take some time to figure it all out and get myself back on track, which I'm doing. But
welcome, Dillard. First,
hello, Dillard.
So some people say that I guess there's mixed opinions, but some people say that it's not wise to launch towards the end of the year because I guess you're competing with Thanksgiving and Christmas and all the money people spend on that. And I guess on top of it, the pandemic. Do you think that there's any truth to that? Or do you think you should be able to launch a product at any time of the year?
I have been told that, and that things start to drop off in November for things like for crowdfunding, like Indiegogo, and they don't pick up till late January, maybe sometime into February. So, and that again, that the holiday season, that wouldn't be that wouldn't surprise me if that was the case. I'm certainly next time going to try to avoid those months if I can, you know, really get it launched in September so the campaign ends in November before the holiday season really kicks off, you know. So I launched in October and didn't, I think I ended like December 18th. So that, you know, that might have made it harder as well. It's certainly a possible factor.
But then you did get fully funded, so that's a good thing.
I did get fully funded, and I was thrilled. And I'll admit that I had a friend come in and kind of give me a decent boost at the end that got me over the hump. So he didn't get me all the way over the hump, but he got me far enough along that you know, people said, "Oh, he's probably going to make it," so I'll back it now. I think. You
know. Welcome, Nefarious. Hey, chat. How's it going? Yeah. So let's check your campaign page. Tilt Part 2. You're at 4066 USD.
Should I? Yeah, I haven't had a backer in a while, so a new backer. If I get it, I'm still shooting for 135 backers, which would get me to the stretch goal, which gets everyone copies of these 2 pinups. All the Queens of Tilt 2 with Jennifer here in the middle. Gotta be careful where I put the pointer there. Whoops. Sorry. Especially in this era of Me Too. Really.
Yeah, really.
But we'll kind of, you know, keep it up here a little bit. Are the
pinups like 8x10s?
I usually do 11x14, I think is what I do. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Whatever's the ones that are behind me, I think. Yeah, those are 11x14, aren't they? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they fit in 11x14 frames very nicely. Yeah. So Lenore King, who drew this top one, she will be signing all of these, and then it's also going to be the God damn it, keep the pointer up here. The Virgin version of the standard cover will also, be available. Will be a part of the stretch goal. And you don't have to necessarily buy a physical copy to get the goodies on the stretch goal. If you want to just buy a digital copy, which is only $5, and also I should let you know that if you didn't get in on Tilt 1, you can buy the digital copy of that for only $1 extra. If you want to do that, I will. You can just send me your address, and I will drop these 2 pinups that are the part of the stretch goal. I'll drop those in the mail to you. They don't have to. You don't have to purchase a physical copy. I would prefer you to purchase a physical copy, but you know, good deals here. You get both the standard cover and the variant cover for only $22. Or if you just want a single copy, those are both $14. And we still have ways to get drawn into part 3 of Tilt. You can play cards with Jennifer and get whacked. You'll be kind of a friend of the guy who attacks Jennifer. He gets whacked, and then you get whacked. Yeah, so you'll get whacked, and then you'll be a thug. You'll give up information to Jennifer, and you'll also get whacked. And yeah, and then there's also the chance to be a mob hitman's friend or girlfriend. You'll give up info to Jennifer and maybe survive. And this is ideal for a female fan as well. All of these come with all the goodies. So you get 2 copies of the physical comic, all of the pinups, in addition to, you know, the stretch goal pinups. You'll get copies of let's see, these 2, the Jiggities and the Archsider pinups as well, plus a copy of the Tilt 2 deck of cards, which this time are going to have you know, your standard, your custom jacks, kings, queens, and kings on the front sides of those particular cards. So you'll get all those goodies as well if you purchase these. So yeah.
So the draw-in tiers are to be drawn into book 3 of Tilt, right? Tilt.
Yes, into Tilt 3, not part 2. So I think, though, at some point down the road, I am going to change this a little bit so that you will actually get drawn into that particular comic and not into a future comic. I think that.
Gotcha.
I initially did. My initial goal was to get things turned around very, very quickly. So I had you drawn into part 2, but I think I can line it up now so that, I could have those pages drawn. I mean, my artist works pretty quickly, so I could have those pages drawn pretty quickly once a campaign ends, get them colored and lettered, and still get things turned around pretty quickly. So I think maybe at some point down the road, I'm going to have you drawn into the actual issue that that the campaign is for.
Right.
But right now, it's just getting drawn into issue 3. So
that makes sense. And the trading cards, the images that you were previewing.
Yeah, they're not actual trading cards. It's a deck of playing cards. Yeah. This was drawn by Vic King. This is going to be on the back of the deck of cards, drawn by Vic King and colored by Rosetta Allen. And then you've got these are the custom jacks, which are drawn and colored by Jeff Craven. Jack of clubs, Jack of diamonds, Jack of hearts, and Jack of spades. These weapons that the Jack of diamonds is holding are called commas, and the kind of bent swords that the Jack of spades is holding are known as sickas. And then you've got the custom queens, clubs, diamonds, hearts, and spades. These were drawn and colored by Lenore King. And then the custom kings, clubs, diamonds, hearts, and spades, which were drawn and colored by Lakem Amir, who also did the Jiggities pinup. So
these images they're on the, I guess they're called the faces of the cards with the numbers in the corners.
Yeah, so this will have like King of Spades in the corner, K with a spade in the corner. This will have Queen with the queen and the heart, the Q with the heart in the corner.
Okay. So each image will take almost the entire card of space. It's not going to be like 2 images, one upside.
No, it's not going to be 2 images. It's going to be one image.
Cool. It allows you to get a better look at them.
Yep.
Welcome, Badanui. How's it going? Hello.
So yeah, why don't I play the video?
You too.
Is the audio? Do you have the audio of the page on?
Go ahead and give that a shot.
All right.
It's that time again, my friends. Time to get tilted. The campaign for Tilt Part 2 is underway. Jennifer Poehler was in danger after mobsters murdered her dad. For her protection, spirits gave her the power to make the characters in an ordinary deck of playing cards come alive. Now she has to use that power to eliminate the mobsters who killed her dad. In issue 2, it is time for the mobsters to face the music. But what price will Jennifer pay? Will her recklessness catch up with her? Find out and back Tilt Part 2. Brought to you by the same team that brought you issue 1. Written by David Doc Hog Hogberg. Illustrated by Marcos Lima. Colored by Lenore King. And lettered by D. Jason Meadows. Bringing you 32 pages of sexiness, surprises, and slaughter. Tilt Part 2, now on Indiegogo. It's superheroes meet the Sopranos, and this time, the Sopranos get whacked.
Alexander Cole.
Yeah, he used to host Tuesday show of my channel, Comics and Variety, but he had he had to back out of it for time commitment. So
okay,
yeah, he's a good guy, does good voice work, and I like using him. And,
oh, nice.
So, yeah. So I think we kind of told the story there real quick, but if you don't know the story of Tilt, basically, the main character, Jennifer, her dad is murdered by mobsters, and then the mobsters are out to get her. In the afterlife, her dad begs a spirit to give her a power that will protect her, and the spirit agrees, gives her the ability to make the kings, queens, and jacks in a deck of cards come alive, and they are there to protect her, but the price for that power is that she has to use it to eliminate the mobsters who murdered her dad. And we just got that kind of going in issue 1. Jennifer is initially very, very reluctant to do it, but gets it going. And part 2 is going to be kind of the big, you might say just the big slaughter. Most of the mobsters are going to get it in this one. A few will survive, and Jennifer's weaknesses is that she's somewhat reckless, somewhat impulsive, and that's going to come back to hurt Jennifer at the end of issue 2, and will lead into issue 3. So just lots of I think some pretty good storytelling and lots of great art, and so I would get in there and back it as soon as you can. Hopefully I will be shipping toward the end of the month of March.
End of March. Wow, that's coming up real fast.
Yeah, it might be early April, but it's going to be soon.
Nice. Pretty cool. Out of curiosity, I meant to ask this earlier, but did you have any stills, any interiors you wanted to share?
Yeah. Why don't you pull that down real quick? Take down the. Yeah, and I can find. Yeah, I've got a few new ones I can share. Sure.
So last campaign, you offered a deck of cards. Excuse me, and it came with 52 cards total.
I think 54, including the Jokers.
Jokers, yeah.
Yeah.
And then it came in like this neat little, I don't know if it's soft cardboard.
Yeah, it was just soft cardboard box little tuck box, as they call it, and I put a sticker on the back, and I'm going to do the same thing this time. So.
Oh, okay. All right. That's what I was curious about.
Yeah, I'd like to do a custom box, but it makes it too expensive. Deck of cards are kind of your more pricier item to fund. And,
gotcha.
So I may eventually switch over to trading cards, but we'll see.
Well, I do like, I think the deck of cards really matches the theme of the book.
It does.
And I like that you're taking the feedback from the first campaign and, incorporating, customizing the cards to be, more along the lines of the book. Did you want me to share yet, or are you still looking for something?
Still.
All right, that's cool. So the next stretch goal is 135 backers. We're at 117 so far, so if you haven't backed it yet, definitely be sure and back it while it's in demand and while you still got the time to do so. We got some amazing stretch goals, as you saw earlier. Opportunities to get drawn into part 3 of Tilt. The cheapest one being $75, which is play cards with Jennifer and get whacked. Oh my gosh. I don't want to be whacked. Let's see. Then you've got be a thug, give up info to Jennifer, and then get whacked. And then be a mob hitman's friend or girlfriend, give up info to Jennifer, and survive, maybe. Those are really reasonable prices for being drawn for draw-in tiers. You'll get in book 3. This is book 2 right now. So how many books are in the series?
In this particular story arc, it's going to be 3. I'm going to wrap this story arc up in number 3, and then I will have another story arc sometime after that. Yeah, I don't know exactly how many issues the second story arc is going to take. I just don't know yet. I've just kind of got it roughly, very, very roughly outlined in my head what the second story arc, what that story is going to be about. But I don't know yet how it's all going to play out. So that's going to take some doing.
When you start the next volume or story arc, are you going to start it off with Tilt book 4? Or
oh yeah,
okay.
Might as well.
Tilt part 4. All right, gotcha.
Issue 4, sure. All right, I've shared a file. I'll show you one of the new pages here.
Oh wow! Look at the gradations.
Yeah, it's nice, and this is where Jennifer has gotten away from the mobster's birthday party. The big slaughter's over, and now she's being tailed by some of the remaining mobsters. I show this page because my colorist actually made a mistake here. You see, Jennifer is in the white van. She's transferring over to her car, leaving the white van there. She gets in the car and starts driving, but he colored the car gray, and then her car is, but then her car suddenly changes color to red.
Oh.
And so I said, you kind of need to go back and change that. So here's the.
It's a chameleon car.
Yeah, so here's the proper one with
all right.
Both cars are gray.
So you got that fix. That's pretty quick.
Yeah, and this here is after the characters have slaughtered off all the mobsters at the birthday party, and they're setting the place on fire, and they're kind of reminding Jennifer, take the long way home, so that if she gets tailed or anything, that she can be aware of it. And what she ends up doing here is saying, no, screw it, I'm not going to take the long way home. I just want to get home. And so
not going to take the advice, eh?
No. And she kind of has a little bit of a habit of doing that. So, like earlier, and this is the page where Lenore got drawn in when she wasn't aware of it. I called it. Basically, the story here is that Jennifer gets into the mobster's birthday party by acting as a stripper who jumps out of a cake. But what they do is they find out which stripper the mobster is hired, and they kidnap her and put Jennifer in her place. And the Jacks and the Jacks do this. But so I had the stripper who was supposed to be in the cake. I had her drawn in as Lenore. And Lenore insists that that this is all anatomically correct. So
did she have to look in the mirror to make sure that the colors matched?
I don't know. So
cool.
One of the other things is that Jennifer is told early on in the book that when you throw the cards out at the birthday party, be sure you throw one card directly at the head boss, Johnny Ricca, because he will have a bodyguard who will probably be armed. So we want to take out that bodyguard as fast as we can. Well, she's having a hard time with this, so she drinks some booze ahead of time and just throws out the cards randomly and doesn't throw it at the one specifically at the bodyguard, and that does have some consequences. And so this is again right after after the whole slaughter is over. The only of the Jackson Kings, only the Jack of Hearts survives that particular encounter. But again, there's going to be a way that basically what happens when one of these characters, a Jack or King or a Queen, gets killed, they transform back into a card, and the card is broken, like it's ripped, and you can't use it. But there is going to be a way that Jennifer can get those cards fixed, and so she can use them again. So I'm going to talk about that in issue 2, and that will play into issue 3. So,
gotcha. I was wondering about that.
All righty. We about ready to wrap things up here?
Yeah.
All righty.
I'm going to give you the floor. Share with the world how you can be found on social media, if you would.
Absolutely. Basically, you can reach me at Doc_Hog at both Twitter at Doc_Hog and now Minds. I just joined Minds recently.
Oh.
I've barely gotten my page going up there, or my feed going, but that's at Doc_ as well, _Hog as well. And also, if you just want to reach me via email, dhog70, DHOG70 at gmail.com.
Nice.
Hello, Edwin the Ace. Nice to see you.
Oh, yeah. Sounds fun. Yeah, definitely. If you haven't already, welcome Ace to the Aces Live on Indiegogo Acevedo. Yo, peeps. It is, oops, wrong one. Tilt 2 is in demand. Be sure and back it if you haven't already. Lots of great tiers. Even some draw-in tiers available still. Get drawn into book 3. Excuse me. You can find me at the usual haunts. We, Facebook, YouTube under WyzGyz Entertainment. Twitter under WyzGyz Tweets. Twitch under WyzGyz Twitches. Parlay under WyzGyz Parlays or WyzGyz Now. Like, comment, and subscribe. Mark the bell for notifications. Drop some comments down below this video stream. Let us know what you're most excited about on Tilt Part 2. And definitely be sure and back this as soon as you're able to. And you said that you're looking at starting printing in March at the latest April?
Yeah, I think start shipping late March.
Oh, start shipping late March. Okay.
What I'm aiming for. So.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds good.
All righty.
Thank you all for joining us today. Thank you everyone in chat. You guys are awesome. Thanks to everyone who watches us on replay. And thanks once again to our special guest, Doc Hog. Bye all.
Final guest that is the only person below White Holiday in the ComicsGate phone book. It's my favorite failed clone of Peter Sammetti. The YouTube WyzGyz. How you doing? Welcome to the show.